Before we can begin to even think about installing WordPress, I recommend that we get a database so that the files and all of the information that we put up into WordPress have a place to go. So in order to do that, I'm going to open up a new tab. I'll come back to the assignment as we go along. I'm going to go, first of all, almost to my server. Your server will be your username minus frodriguez, then .weareidt.com, and after the final slash in the URL, please type in control panel, or rather just cpanel, and press enter, and we'll navigate to the control panel for your website. So everything that is going on in the back end of your website can be controlled through the web panel. This is where you can go and take a look at how many databases you have, create new ones, delete them, etc. So the login information is the same as your login for FTP minus frodriguez. And my password, well, it remembered my password, but just type in your password, the one you were assigned. And then it'll take us to this bluish screen. This is the control panel itself. We have lots of file functions on top. I'll skip to the databases, and I'll take the easy route and go to the MySQL database wizard, this icon right here. Click on that. I'm also going to open up Notepad because I need to write down some of this information, if not all of it actually, because later on when we set up WordPress, we'll need it to actually log in. So mine tells me right away that the new database that I create will start out with these 8 characters, frodrigu, frodrigu_, and then whatever else I decide to call it. So I'm going to go with WP18 just to keep it simple. You can have up to 54 characters, and maybe you want to have a long one in there, a long name, just so that it's a little bit more secure. But I'll go with WP18. Yours can be the same. It's up to you. It will not be the same completely since your name will be attached to it. So let me write this down. Let me go to a Notepad and just say that the database is going to be frodrigu_WP18. Go to the next step. We're going to create a database user. So this is you, so that you can go in and actually make changes to the database once we install it. So for username, frodrigu, we'll have to start with that as well. I'm going to go with something simple. So I'll just say, I don't know, frodrigu user. Very simple. Use whatever you decide to use. However, just know that 7 characters is the most I will accept. And the password here, I'm gonna go with something simple because it's going to show you what the password is. So I'm going to go with one that is not recommended, but that I know I can remember. So far then, I know now that my username for the database is frodrigu_user, and the password that I picked, you can use your own secure password, but like I said, you're going to be able to see this, so I've just picked password 1, the worst password to have. It tells me that it's very weak. I hope that it will let me go through. If not, I'll change it. Let's create user, and I don't need to save that. So now that I've added the user to the database, I need to give it privileges. So since this is going to be you, the main user, you want to get all privileges. So make sure that you click all privileges and that all of these boxes are checked. I'll click on next step. And now it tells me that the user frodrigu_user was added to the database frodrigu WP18. So we've accomplished a couple of things. We've created a database and we have created a new user. And that's all we need to create the user. You can log out if you want. This is the control panel. It's, like I said, everything that goes on here is in the back end. So you don't need to worry about having to run it all the time. You have access to 3 databases, so now you have one, and if you're in another class and you need a database for PHP or MySQL or anything else, you can still build 2 more. One other thing that I'll show you, I'll go back to the control panel, and in databases I can tell it to show me my SQL databases, and it's going to give me information about, well, it will allow me to create a new database if I want to. But it tells me that I already have one database. It's called frodrigu WP18, and that this is the username. And that's it. Next, if you're in the WordPress class, we will be now downloading and installing WordPress.